And we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the combination, or I'm screwing this all up.
We're going live.
We are live.
Jim and Stu Show meets the Salescopy Content Marketing Hacks podcast.
Right. So they
just got married.
That's if the podcast and our live show had a baby in your mouth, this is what it would taste like. So instead of doing like two things, we figured we'd do one big Lollapalooza thing.
And we're still recording it, and so you can find it on the YouTube channel. You can get it on Spotify, so it's a
iTunes
podcast. We're just doing it live.
That's right. So we're doing this live because, well, it's more fun. Yeah. Oh, look, dude! I just looking at they just showed me a memory on Facebook, and I had lit a fire out in the yard. That's cool. Those are the best memories. So if you're just joining us, please say hello on Facebook. If you're not on our Facebook group where we do these live now, make sure that you join the Facebook group, the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks group on Facebook, so you can see these live. Ask us questions. Dennis says, I've been listening to your podcast this week. Best one out there.
Wow.
Awesome. That's high praise. All right.
I thought we were just stringing some stuff together, but people actually like it.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to test everybody's cultural literacy. Okay. How literate are you with meaningless meme stuff from the web, Stu? Do you pretty up on the memes? Do you look at memes and listen to memes, see meme videos and stuff?
I'm lucky I have teenage kids. Okay. So they tell me if I post something, oh, Dad, that was so yesterday.
Okay.
Like that meme's old. So I still do Kermit memes all the time.
So there's a chance
I like doing it.
That you might know what this is from. So, and everybody can participate with this too. Okay. Rezwan, you may not answer because you guessed this yesterday. So do not answer. Okay. Otherwise you won't have my undying admiration, which you still have from yesterday. Okay. So here we go. Everyone except Rezwan. What is this from? You heard it. You didn't hear that?
Just a second. I have no idea what that is.
That's the coffin song. That's you seen the guys dancing with the coffin and stuff? You haven't seen it? Oh my gosh.
I'm not that cool, man.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's the coffin song. So Dennis Smith says 10-year combat medic veteran also. So I love the military references. Well, thank you for your service, Dennis.
Cool, man.
And cool. So what do we got today besides shenanigans?
Well, let's start off with a legit question.
Okay. And by the way, this is episode 73 of the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. So here we go.
Yes. So let's start off with a legit question first, and then I'm going to ask a question to make it the second half. And I don't know, it might still be legit, but
okay.
So anyway, Sergeant Mower says, "Hey Jim, I'm started reading your book, Copywriting Secrets."
Oh, this book?
This book?
Oh, I got a hardcover too now, Stu. I got tired of you holding up how come Stu got a hard copy? I got one too. Thank you very much.
So he's been reading your book. And he had a question about the length of copy in an ad. You talk about how important it is to try to talk about all top 10 reasons why people should buy something when it comes to writing great copy.
Right.
When do you know your copy is too long, and how do you get people interested without being boring? Because a lot of people these days have short attention spans.
Okay. So just as your question was too long, I'm just playing. Here's the thing. You talking about, is your copy too long when we're talking about an ad? Understand this. The only purpose of an ad is to grab people's attention and to move them on to the next step in your process. So online, typically that is for them to click over to something else where you're actually going to have the real conversation with them, trying to get them to call, try, buy, click, fill out a form. Those are the main 5 things that you can have somebody do. So the ad shouldn't be super, super long. It should create enough curiosity and pressure within them that they click. And that's really 95% of the time. The only purpose of an online ad is to get the right people to click over where you can have you can continue the sales process with them. So you think about what would you do in that ad? You're trying to enter the conversation that's either going on in their head right now or is bubbling real close to the surface. So they may not be thinking about right now the fact that, let's use the example of like increase your push-ups. So they're not thinking about increasing their push-ups maybe this second, but it's something that's top of mind all the time. Let's say they're in the military, or they're trying to apply for something, or they're trying to get a contract, or they've got a PT test. There's something coming up and they're doing something else, but on Facebook, they see an ad that says, hey, got a PT test coming up? Hey, would you like to increase your push-ups by 30, 40, 50 during your next PT test? And they're like, oh, yeah, I'd like to do that. You know, former Navy SEALs shows you exactly how to do it in 2 weeks or less. Click the button below to find out more. And it's like, okay, I'll click that. Now you got to be careful. I know, because every time I say it, people are like, well, Facebook doesn't like it when you ask questions. And there's a whole bunch of other places to get traffic besides Facebook.
That is true.
But, you know, there are some questions you can ask. You just can't, you know, you can't ask, hey, are you fat? Would you like to lose weight? They don't like you asking that. You know, are you a doctor who is getting sued all the time? They don't want you asking that. But you can ask questions like, you know, want to increase your push-ups on your next PT test? You know, Stu Smith. So the point is, how much more would you actually need to get somebody to click? So you have to be really, really in touch with their emotional buttons, for lack of a better word. What are their pain points? What are their desires? What are their fears? What are the things that they're worried about in the short term and the long term? What are the concerns that they have? It pretty much comes down to desires and problems. So, hey, would you like to max your next PT test even if you suck right now? Stu Smith, former Navy SEAL, has shown thousands how to do exactly that. So any more than that, and you're just talking yourself out of the click. So when you think of an ad, you want to have something that grabs their attention. There's a formula called attention, interest, desire, and action. I personally think that now it's attention, curiosity, action. So you're really gotta give them a squirrel moment, because people are not just, the second part of your conversation, or the second part of your question was, people have shorter attention spans. You're exactly right. So you got to get their attention based on some emotionally compelling reason to do so, you know, some emotional hot button that they've got. Create curiosity instantly that you might have a solution to their problem, or the magic button to satisfy their desire, and then move them on to the next step with the call to action. So that's the formula's attention, curiosity, action.
Yeah, I like that. And I think maybe he has a little bit of a misunderstanding of your 10 reasons why people buy. You don't need to put all 10 into a single ad.
Not in an ad.
If you do that, you're just, I usually do 1 or 2. I make sure that I have 1 or 2 of those things in that ad that answers that question.
Yeah.
Another thing too, if you really want to drive, cold traffic to you, is don't necessarily, pick your 1 or 2 reasons why people buy, but then match that with keywords.
Yes.
So for instance, Jim was talking about push-ups, but push-ups is too vague. So if I added chest workouts for Army combat fitness test, those 3 are big right now.
Increase your push-ups.
Right. Instead of, increase your push-ups. Instead of that, you can make it, just change the keywords around a little bit, and you get a lot more eyeballs on that.
Now, I will tell you all, the only reason that you are, and I see your question, Nelly, and we will hit that at the end. So you guys feel free to ask questions and stuff. But I will tell you guys, the only reason that that Stu is here today, and that Stu and I have been working together for 3 or 4 years now, and Stu's been helping me with workouts for 6 years, 6 or 7 years or more. I don't remember, 6, 7 years. Anyway, 6. Is because I did a search for how to do more pull-ups. Honest to God, that's how I found Stu. I was looking for advice on how to do more pull-ups, and I was looking on Google, and I was looking on Facebook, and I found somebody did a post about how Stu helped him get ready for a heavy in the Go Ruck page. And I said, this is my guy. I went and looked at his site. I saw he had a coaching program, and I signed up immediately. He didn't respond back to me in 15 minutes. So I like called him on the phone. Hey, my name's Jim. I just signed up for your thing. He's like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah. And he's like, who is this dude? So anyway, you're absolutely right, Stu. Combining those keywords with a result that they want or a solution to their problem, and getting really, really specific about who your target audience is. It's like the trifecta right there. You know, the thing you said about how every firefighter candidate, you didn't say that, but how every firefighter candidate can max your next PT, or max your screening PT test, increase push-ups now. I mean, if you're that target audience, there's no way in hell they're going to ignore that if they need help with that. So
yeah, so good point on the shorter attention span. You got to get them with a cool picture.
Yes.
Catchy headline.
And you've heard the hook story offer. That also hook story offer, that thing I said of need to increase your push-ups. Former Navy SEAL has helped thousands to increase their push-ups by 30, 40, and even 50 reps. Click here for more. That's hook story offer. The hook is need to increase your push-ups. The story is Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL, has helped thousands do exactly that. And then the call and the offer is click here for more information.
Yeah.
That fits it perfectly.
You touched on one more thing about how, Facebook doesn't let you do some things. Let me share something with you.
Okay.
Book right here, Tactical Strength. It's pretty much got the world exploding on the cover. It's got a guy with a gun, military guys, fire and everything. I cannot put this on a Facebook store. They turn it down every time. So what I did is I put a big, little best-selling author right over the gun, and they helped me do it. That helped. So
you got a freaking Russian on the gun. That guy's holding an AK-47, man.
No, it's not.
What is it?
I can't even tell right now. Oh, it could be AK-47. Eyeballs are. It's stock photo. Publisher doesn't know what he's doing.
Stock photo. Hey, let's put a Russian with an AK-47 on the front of Stu's book, holding a kettlebell.
I'm not sure what it was. I thought it was MP5 when I first saw it, but it could be something different. But even that's not an American weapon either.
So do we want to hit a couple questions before we hit your other question?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what's your advice to an 18-year-old boy wanting to start his copywriting career? Go write some copy and get some results. And I would tell you, maybe don't think about writing copy for other people for very long. Get really good at writing copy and write copy for yourself. Why would you write copy for somebody else and try and convince them to pay you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for a sales letter when you can write a sales letter for your own product or a product that you license or something else and keep all the money?
Yeah. Play around with it. Play around with, social media, build up your social media there with, clever ideas. And get selling some. And 28-year-old young man.
18-year-old, not 28.
18-year-old young
18,
man. Sorry,
yeah.
I messed that up.
So, and then Nelly just asked, which software is the best for daily content post? Funny, you should ask that. I actually would tell you that we have tons of cool software that can help you with that. Here's the one I used this morning. I used the 60-second tidbit wizard to do my video on Facebook. This is the actual stuff that I filled out. This one will help you come up with something. I say it's a 60-second tidbit. If you just read it, it'll take you 60 seconds, but I'm incapable of just reading something and not extrapolating. But this is the one that I did, and I'm just going to pull up the one I did, but I mean, it asks you some questions. It took me like 5 minutes to fill it out. It gave me all my talking points and stuff. And then I went out with the chickens and I printed this off. And this was the thing that I had taped to my little, I had taped to my stick that I mount my phone on. And I actually got this new microphone, Stu.
Yep.
Because my sound was kind of sucking. So I got this microphone off of Amazon that plugs into the FireWire on my iPhone. And the sound is amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Amazingly better. So that would be the one that I would recommend if you're just starting to get started. And if you're just starting to get started, easy, Yogi Berra. But I would also tell you to understand that there's really 3 parts to doing daily content. I guess I got ahead of myself with going back to this. There's 3 parts of daily content. There's ideation, creation, and promotion. So the first thing I normally do is I'll jump on and use one of the wizards to help me come up with an idea. Then I'll use one of the many wizards we have for creating the content. And then I get it up there. It goes on Facebook. It goes on Instagram. It becomes part of my newsletter. It goes on YouTube. It goes all over the place. And so don't just create your daily content and throw it up on Facebook and say, "Phew, glad that's over," and then move on to something else. You need to maximize the heck out of your content. And Stu, you've been using wizards lately. Tell the kids what you've been doing.
I did. I've been doing a lot with wizards. Actually having a lot of fun with it. Let's see. So what I did was in fact, I'm going to ask you guys a question and you guys can answer since we're going live. What are some of the habits that you have created for yourself during this COVID-19 era? I'm just going to call it an era now because it's over 3 months. So what have you done in this last 3 months that are good habits that you like, you know what? I think I'm going to keep doing this because it's.
Oh, well, you just killed it there because I've picked up all kinds of great habits that are loving them, but I don't know if I could continue them in public, you know?
No, these are really good ones. In fact, I used a wizard to put them all together.
What?
Right? Yeah. And I used a wizard called the Instant Tip Wizard Long Base Wizard.
As long is important sometimes, but more than just the tip. Long is important.
Right. So yeah, Instant Tip Wizard.
Can you share the end result? Can you pull it up on your site and show people
the
end result of what you did?
Sure. I actually wrote an article on it. You can actually find it on military.com here soon. Let me see. Where am I? Oh, I need to share.
Suburban
Most
Maryland.
disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta. I did send it to you though, if you just want to share it.
Nah. All right. It's
All
more
right,
real when you do it.
Yeah. All right. So title is New Habits Created During Shelter-in-Place Orders, Personal, Professional, and Physical Training. So, but anyway, starts off with 3 pieces of equipment that I use for my home gym. And if you don't have a home gym, this is also a great starter plan for a home gym. One being the TRX, fitness in a bag. Love that thing. I use it all the time. And all it is some straps, and you can use that thing to replace so many different exercises and add many other exercises to it that you can't do with normal equipment. So it's got many ways to increase your diversity in the weight room. So the other one is kettlebells or dumbbells. Talk a little bit about that.
I'm disappointed at you abandoning your principles on the kettlebell thing. When I first met you, Stu says I hate kettlebells because they're a communist
exercise. But that was before I actually talked to Pavel himself, who is a very nice guy, and that guy is more of a capitalist than I am. So he has come to America and has done well.
There you go. Nice. Good for him.
I cut him some slack a little bit. So actually, I quoted him in here. So I actually have Pavel in here and his website. So, but we also do a weight vest. So number 3 is get that weight vest for your gym. So it was more like these are some new habits. You can't go to the gym. So I'm trying to recreate a home gym for people with these 3 devices. Then
Gotcha.
I go into personal habits, like washing my hands. Like I've always washed my hands before I ate. That was just something I always did, or after I went to the bathroom. You know, some people don't do that, but I always did. But I now, every time I walk into the house, I wash my hands. Every time I get into my car, I have a hand sanitizer. Wash my hands there.
So basically what you're saying is you've developed the habit of being OCD, just like I have as far as hand cleanliness.
In fact, I say that in here. Face it, we're all germaphobes now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So touching my face, I used to have a real bad habit of before I touched like 2 pieces of paper that were together, I'd lick my fingers.
Okay, I thought you were going to stick your finger up your nose.
It makes me ill just thinking about licking my finger before I touch some paper. So it has grossed me out to a point of where I just, I don't do that anymore.
Dope.
So, yeah. So anyway, touching my face or putting my fingers in my mouth.
Ugh. I'm so proud of you, Stu.
Thank you. Well, like I said, these are I'm just being basic.
So can I show him can I show him the wizard that you actually used to
sure
to do that? So this is the one that Stu used is the Instant Tip Wizard long version. He texted me Sunday. He's like, "Hey dude, what would you use to write this?" I said,
I think I saved it in there.
I will. Yeah, I'll anyway. It basically it's saved on yours, not on mine. But you could share it with me if you wanted to, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But the point is you go through and fill this out. How long did it take you to fill the thing out, Stu? 20 minutes?
Maybe 15, 20.
Yeah. Once you do this, and then the cool thing about it is, I mean, it even if you don't know what your title is, it'll make titles for you. It basically writes the freaking article for you, creates the call to action, writes your email teaser to send it out to your list, does all kinds of tweets and other stuff, help you make a meme. It's pretty amazing. It's kind of my secret weapon for creating longer content. So
I love it. It worked really well. But I do have a couple more, if I may share.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to share my screen on this one, but the last one is I've been given that advice, by the way, for decades to young kids going to boot camp. Wash your hands and don't touch your face. Because
the habits. I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Some of the habits. So I'd give that advice to kids before they ship to boot camp because they're traveling from all over the United States. Now they're living in close quarters with 50 other people using the same bathrooms and living space and all that, and everybody gets sick. If you can avoid getting sick by just not touching your face and keeping your hands washed, it's amazing because you leave boot camp and you haven't, degraded your physical abilities to a level of bronchitis or pneumonia or, whatever. So you're ahead of the game if you don't get sick. So anyway, I've been giving that advice for years. Now I'm just taking it personally in my everyday life. The other one with work, very important, something that I have discovered during the COVID is that my scheduling is uninterrupted throughout the day. There are just no interruptions whatsoever. And that's any time of the day right now. Typically, I would have no interruptions from first thing in the morning to maybe 10 or 11 in the morning. But now, there's no lunch meetings. There's no picking the kids up after school. There's none of that going on. And so I am dead set on fixing my schedule to a point where I have no interruptions, and only thing that I do is what is on my to-do list and schedule. Now, obviously, weird things happen and you have some interruptions sometimes, but still, the productivity level is off the charts right now, whether it's a new book coming out, updating old books, updating websites, just getting things moving. I'm probably done every day by 2 p.m. And I'm able to hang with the kids, work out with my son, play some board games, do stuff like that. So it becomes a more highly productive at work, gives me more time, hang out with the family, and they're around doing nothing anyway. So let's have some fun. So anyway, that has been my habits of COVID that I've done. So what have you guys figured out is my question to the group.
There you go. And while you guys are answering that, make sure that you like or love or hate or share or whatever. But if you're here watching, I'm seeing more people watching live than I'm seeing reactions. So do us a favor and whack the like button while you're sitting here with your mouse handy. And we would appreciate that, because that just helps the rest of the group see that something's going on live, get the notification, and then they can show up and see it as well. Please. Thank you.
Yep.
So
Gordon says we're all getting creative. That is true.
That is true. Some of us are spending a little bit too much time alone, doing way too many things that maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. But here's the biggest habit that I have adapted, is that because there's so much going on and work expands to fill the time allotted, I have pretty much made a hard and fast rule of being done by 4:15 every day. I'm aiming for 4 o'clock. And so that way, if I aim for 4, I'm done by 4:15. If I did 4:15, it'd be 4:30. If I did 4:30, it'd be 4:45, 5. And then all of a sudden, I've been at my desk from 5 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, with only a break to for lunch and to work out. And that's maybe a little extreme. That's a long day, 5 days a week, plus Saturday morning, which we all do, or I do. So because of this, and without those interruptions and stuff, I've actually found that it's a negative to a degree to have no interruptions, if that makes sense. In other words, it's so easy to only work that I have to make myself not work. Because what I was also doing was procrastinating a little bit, because I knew I could basically keep working till 6 o'clock if I had to. Whereas if it's like, I got to be done at 4, or my wife's going to be mad at me, or I've got something fun that I want to do at 4:15, that's been a habit that I did not have really ingrained before. Another thing that I've done is, since everybody's around and you say, not allowing things to interrupt you, I have been putting things into my calendar that I normally would. In other words, I've been putting to-do items into my calendar instead of just having my to-do list and my calendar. I've been putting the to-do lists into the calendar. Like at 10 o'clock today, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work on this script from this time to this time. Because what was happening was, I had all these things on my to-do list, but then my calendar was filling up with meetings and other stuff that was keeping me from getting work done. I'm not sure if I'm being clear or not on that, but that was, so everything gets a time assigned to it, whether it's a meeting or a task or something like that. So I've really integrated my to-do list with my calendar fully, much more than I did before. Even down to scheduling, like, send out newsletter at 11:30, that kind of stuff. And that's helped me too for getting more stuff done.
Yeah, I see that. So, I haven't necessarily put times to all of my check marks for the day, but I'm also like, well, if I work through lunch, I can get off early.
Right.
I fall for that one all the time. But it's It does work.
You go.
Find what works for you is the key, is what I'm saying. Is, there are many ways to, schedule your day. You just need to observe if it is being productive for you or not.
So I'm trying to see what,
those are my habits.
Nobody's really saying what their habits and stuff are. They're saying they're getting better results though. Lyle says way more productive and way more focused. I wrote a book and finished 2 online courses, more time with my wife and son before my daughter is born in 3 weeks. Congrats on that. Gordon says, yes, time slots for me is more important than anything right now. So we had are we cool? Are we good with we'll see if anybody says what their new habits are and stuff, but we had one more question from Tanya. She said, hi, where do you start to create your copywriting? Is copywriting part of Facebook ads? So copywriting is anything that you're trying to motivate people to take a specific action. So it could be an ad, whether on Facebook or not, where you're trying to motivate them to click a link and go to your website. If you think about it,
newspaper,
right? Blog ads, solo ads, email. I mean, there's just pretty much, there's no difference between, people think that copywriting and content creation are separate, and they're really not.
Yeah.
You're writing persuasively to sell somebody on your line of thinking, on your product, on your perspective, on taking a certain action. It's all together. It's not separate. And so pretty much anything you put out there with the intention of getting somebody to do something, even if it's to like or to heart or to do the little care icon.
Is that what that is? The hug a heart?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You didn't know that?
I did not know.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
It means I care. It's like a cross between, it's like a hug, Stu. It's like, I feel a little weird when I heart your stuff, but I mean, we're 2 adult males and, secure with ourselves, but I'm not going to give you the hug icon either. So I want to see if they combine the heart and the mad one. Would that be like a little stalker icon? That'd be pretty cool. So anything you write or say or video, all of it's copywriting. Everything's copywriting. Oh, that'd be a good t-shirt. Everything's copywriting.
That's a good point. I love it. You know what I like about the Wizards the most is that I tend to use them more for content, but it places the copy in there for you, when you may not have normally placed it in there.
Right.
And it flows with it. It doesn't look like it's hitting you, because in my business, I really have to, give information first and then the offer. So,
right.
Yeah.
Susan says, I feel like I have the opposite going on. I have to find times to get things done. My time schedule is jacked with everyone here.
Yeah. As soon as I wrote that, I knew my situation wasn't universal, because my kids are older, one's in college and one's about to graduate high school. And,
is he a senior? I thought he was
he's a junior, but
okay.
He's a year out, but life's a lot different than it was 15 years ago.
Susan says, no matter how much I glare at them, that was the second part, got everybody here. And no matter how much I glare at them, they still interrupt. So a couple things that I would suggest, and all of these are totally serious suggestions. Okay. Because I would never fool around or anything. Number one, you need to clearly communicate with the people around you that this is the work period versus the lunch period versus the play around or break or exercise period. Seriously, you let them know when you're going to be available so that they can wait until you are available. That's number one. Number two, you got to stick with it and be consistent. Like I said, at 4 o'clock, there's a lot of stuff that my wife, doesn't ask me about yet, or is not an issue. Or I'll say, hey, honey, let's talk about this after 4 o'clock. Right now is the work period. And that's one thing I've cultivated around here for years, even with the grandkids when they're coming over and staying. It's like right now is the work period. This is when grandpa is working. This is when Jim is working. So here are the things that you could be doing instead, but that's up to you. But right now is the work period. And so clearly communicating what's going on. And some people don't let you, maybe I'm better at making people scared of me, or I can be enough of a jerk that they're like, just leave him alone because I don't want to see him blow up. But I think that expectation of what's going on and that there is an end in sight and that you're not working all the time is
yeah, you know, when you work from home, you never leave work, but you need to also, people need to know it's work time.
right.
You know, also in the house. So yeah, I agree with that. Hey, Gordon had some good ones. So many new habits: no fast food, getting avatars done for others all before 8 in the morning. I like that one. New gym protocols, hand wipes for everything. So much has changed. That's a good one. Lyle has a good one too. Using my calendar more, not spending countless hours scrolling through Facebook. Good one. That can be addicting. Ability to say no. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I read a book on that, how to say no or something. I can't remember. I'll have to find that. Reassessing tasks and goals more frequently and prioritizing. So, yeah, those are good ones.
That is good. That's real good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I tell you what, the whole fitness center business in the future, that's fitness centers may go away like the drive-in theater, you know.
Well, here's the reality, dude.
But now that's coming back.
Well, the drive-in theater's coming back. That's going to be part of the baby boom that's going to happen in the next 9 months. That's what I said. In the next 9 months, there's going to be a whole bunch of babies and a whole bunch of divorces. So you'll know who got along during the COVID shelter-in-place thing.
You'll know if anybody has daughters named Corona.
That's a great joke. That joke has so many places I could go with that. So you made me forget what the hell I was going to say. Oh, like with the gym thing though. Do you really need a gym to be in shape? No. All you need is a clear space on the floor and some shoes and being able to get outside. And you can get yourself into amazing shape. And if you can, get a TRX or a pull-up bar or something like that, you can get in even better shape. So my thought was always, why would I drive 30 minutes to walk on a machine for 30 minutes and then drive home for 30 minutes? That never made sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, yes, agree. But let's say this, there are people in this group that own fitness businesses, that own gyms, but they're getting very creative with how they're staying open.
Yes.
It's going to require a whole technological advancement to stay open.
And that's what Ray's doing with his
Ray's
Phoenix Fit. We had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he's killing it because he's adapting.
Yeah.
He's serving people where they are, and he is killing it.
He's growing his business when people are starting to shut down. That's impressive when you can do that. But that's
being a possibility thinker.
Yeah.
So I think there are going to be some things that are going to go away. In fact, I have a mastermind meeting today at 11, and we're going to be masterminding all the ways that we think the world is going to be different.
That's fun.
And what's going to stay and what's going to go, and we're just going to prognosticate. But I think that's an important thing to do, is think about in your industry what is going to change and what's going to maybe change back, what will never change back, what will go away and what will appear. Because even with a little bit of a head start, you can be the winner. I mean, I think I'll tell you a quick example. This is true story. None of the details have been changed to enhance my standing in the community. But when I started in the mortgage business in 1992, I was very fortunate that the mortgage business had gone through a huge upheaval in the FHA loan realm. FHA, Federal Housing Administration, they guarantee a lot of the loans that are written in this country, mortgages that are written, and they had totally revamped the way that they figured mortgage insurance and the way that people qualified. And it was very complicated, or it was very complicated compared to how it used to be. And when I got into the business was right when this happened. So actually the whole playing field was leveled because nobody understood it. So me, not 2-3 years out of college, still, decent math skills and too stupid to know that I wasn't smart enough to figure it out. I went and grabbed the manual, figured it out, met with the underwriter who was underwriting the loans, had her spend about a half an hour with me, showing me, all the finer points. And then all I did was go out on the road and start teaching every agent that I could find how this impacted them and how it would help them. And that's how I was able to, within 3 months, 4 months, I was able to I was on my way to making 6 figures. I was operating at a 6-figure level within 4 months, whereas before that, the most I'd ever made in a month was $1,500. And it was because I leveraged a huge change in the market to my advantage while everybody was sitting around scratching their heads and lamenting the changes. I just said, okay, well, this is the new reality. How can I use this to my advantage? So
that's a really powerful thing, because what you did there is you prognosticated that there's going to be change, but you also were keen enough to utilize whatever technology that was to enhance that. So in that case, it was a book, but now with all the other technology that you have available, like what we're doing, 3 years ago, we didn't have a podcast, right? So you have to do both. You have to be able to see where the opportunities are, or vulnerabilities, however you want to look at them, but then also take a snapshot of what is happening today with how people are communicating, how people are learning, and add that to your portfolio of services, and it could really enhance no matter what you're doing.
It's absolutely. And understanding people's new habits, understanding people's new concerns.
That's
I mean, just the fact, if you say everybody's a germaphobe now, that may not be true, but let's say the majority of people are very conscious about germs. So what could you do in your business and in your advertising to play on that, so that one who's not, and one that's, all things being equal, one person that does what you do who's not talking about and you talking about it, they're going to choose you. Look at all the, I know we're not supposed to watch TV and you never see ads because you don't watch TV, right? But have you seen like Domino's and Papa John's touchless delivery? And they're showing the pizza guy walking up, placing the stuff, then stepping back, the people coming out and taking it, going inside, they're safely behind. Then he comes up and gets the bag and everybody's waving and happy, not going, holy crap, this is, the movie Contagion from 1998 with Morgan Freeman rotting in a yellow suit. The point though is that right there makes people think, okay, it's safe to order pizza. I love pizza and it's safe to order pizza. Just with that one little thing of understanding what people are thinking now. So if you owned a restaurant or if you owned a store, what could you, I don't know exactly what you would say, but sanitize daily, surfaces, whatever, just taking that into consideration. How could you use that knowledge to make your stuff? I mean, all of my software is guaranteed COVID-19 free. There is absolutely no way in hell you could catch COVID-19 off of any one of my wizards. I guarantee it. I would put my entire personal fortune on the line over that there's no way in hell you could prove that you caught COVID-19 from my software. Now, maybe if you went to the library to access it, but that's not my fault. You got that from the library. You didn't get, my stuff is certified COVID free.
Yeah, my big thing is, I think a good tagline would be, we're always cleaning, and when we're not, we're looking like we are.
Nice.
I'm telling you.
There you go.
You go to a restaurant, you go to a gym, people better be cleaning all around me.
Yep. Even
And
if
they're
that
not,
rag is dirty as hell,
if
even if
they're
that's the
not,
rag
they
they
better be
use to
looking
wipe
like they're
down
cleaning. Yeah. Oh yeah. Dirty
wipe
rags.
the rim of the toilet with that thing, and there. So thank God it's just regular old germs. It's not the COVID. And I'm going to address something right now because somebody's going to get upset. It's like, oh, y'all are making fun. People have died and all this other stuff. Look, here's another thing you got to understand is that no matter what you do, you're going to piss somebody off at some point. And I'm going to address something that is kind of the elephant in the room and all the stuff that's going on in with the unrest and the terrible things that have happened. And I'm going to acknowledge that some terrible things happen. Some terrible things are continuing to happen. Terrible things have happened in the past, and terrible things will happen in the future, and on all levels, society, all kinds of stuff. Best advice I can tell you is when it comes to your business, don't ever talk about it. Now, I know that'll piss somebody off, but nobody cares about your political opinion.
Yes.
Nobody cares about all that stuff. And the safest thing you can do is never talk about politics, never talk about religion, never talk about social issues when it comes to your business. And if you're doing business through social media and if you're doing it through your personal stuff, then you need to consider it all business. And if somebody tries to bait you into a discussion or bait you into stating your position, understand that the best thing you can do is just say, look, I have my own personal opinions and I don't share them. Or best not even to respond. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the heads up, whatever. But I'm telling you guys right now, it is a slippery slope. I'll probably piss somebody off just for doing this, but it's a closed group. So, I can kick you out of the group and I won't have to listen to it. I'm serious. Yeah. The point though is that you can't win. And the more you try and win, it's like trying to climb out of quicksand. So the best thing to do is avoid the quicksand bog totally. Don't go anywhere near it. Best advice I could give you guys. And that's all I'm going to say about any of this stuff.
Yeah, I would agree.
Anyway, I've acknowledged it and that's it. So if anybody says anything, I will refer them to this part in the podcast. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, Stu. This was good.
This is great. And thanks for commenting. I mean, there's a lot of comments in there, some very useful, great habits. Consider what you're changing in your life. And, you might be able to utilize that in some way. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, if you guys like us doing the podcast like this live and you being able to interact with us, let us know in the comments, like, share, heart, laugh, whatever. Give us a hug. Stu looks like he needs a hug, but any of those weird hug icons, those care ones, those are for Stu. Those ain't for me. So, then we'll know Stu's getting hugged. Here, I'm going to do that right now. I gave you a hug, Stu.
Thanks.
All right. Well, everybody have a great day and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.